Florida isn't the only state threatening the balance of power. There are 5 other key Senate races to keep an eye on tomorrow. Senior fellow at the King's College in New York City, Scott Rasmussen, is here to break them down for us. Nice to see you, Scott.
Good
All
to
right,
see you, Clayton.
let's waste no time. Let's dive into these 5 states and how these Senate races shape up.
Well, look, these 5 states are very important to the Republicans. They need to win most of them if they want to have any chance of keeping control of that body.
So New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri. Let's start in Nevada.
In Nevada, this is Harry Reid's seat. Republicans would love to pick it up, and we're seeing a similar thing that we're seeing in the presidential polls. Joe Heck has a slight lead in the polls, but the early voting trends don't seem to be going very well for the Republicans. This is a state Republicans always look good in the polls, struggle with when you actually get to Election Day. Joe Heck has a real tough road ahead of him at the moment.
Let's talk about Kelly Ayotte up in New Hampshire, because she has had a difficult balancing act with Donald Trump.
That's right. Well, you've got 2 women candidates, so governor and senator running head-to-head. Kelly Ayotte has been asked an awful lot about, well, I'm not endorsing him, and how am I going to do this?
Right.
A lot of questions. This race is a pure toss-up, as I see it. Ayotte has a little bit of an edge in the polls. She's been doing a little bit better lately. But this is the case. In fact, if I had to pick one race to say, how will we know who controls the Senate, it's right here in New Hampshire.
Let's go to the home of the Philadelphia Eagles, Pennsylvania. Don't even talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Katie McGinty, Pat Toomey, what's going to happen here?
McGinty's up by a couple of points. This is a race, again, very similar to what's happening in the presidentials. You got the Philadelphia area going to vote heavily for the Democrats. The rest of the state may not be enough. In some polls, Pat Toomey is running just about the same as Donald Trump. In other words, if Donald Trump loses by a little bit, he would lose by a little bit. In some other polls, he's doing better than the presidential nominee. Right now, though, this looks like a tough seat for the Republicans to keep. And
as a Giants fan, you get to rub it in. Okay,
I'm not even going to bring that up.
Let's go to Wisconsin.
Now, this is a race the Democrats never thought would be in play this year. From the beginning of the year, Ron Johnson was either the most vulnerable or the second most vulnerable incumbent in the Senate. Last couple of polls have shown it to be a toss-up on the ground in Wisconsin. A lot of people think Johnson is actually going to come back. This is a rematch from 6 years ago. And by the way, Johnson, unlike a lot of Senate Republicans, did not modify his positions as the election day approached. He's just said, here's who I am, and let's make it work.
Let's go with 20 seconds left to the show me state.
Now, this is a state the Republicans never thought would be in play this year. Roy Blunt has been running what many have called a lackluster campaign. Jason Kandar has run a very strong campaign. However, if Blunt wins here, and he's favored, it's going to be because the Donald Trump campaign pulled him over the top with a Trump victory in the state.
All right, Scott Rasmussen, you'll be here starting our 67 hours of coverage. Thanks so much, Scott.
Thank you. All right.